Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. Trying to see. I am trying to see what I'm doing here. I'm on my phone, as usual. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where I'm at. Let's see. Welcome to live chat. I hit a button. I hit a button. Hello, hello. Welcome to Smiley's World. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for being here Friday, July 31st. I appreciate you being here. Hello to anybody in the bushes. Hello to anybody lurking. Hello to anybody in here. Come in and say hello, hello. I appreciate you all. I am going to come in and do this. I'm doing it on my phone today. And I'm just going to kind of get the last of the CPS lawsuit part out of the way. So I thank you for being here. I just wanted to come on here this afternoon and try to finish this up and talk about this last part of the lawsuit and, get that done. Seth Rogers is going to be going live tonight, and, I want y'all to go over there and listen to him because, as my understanding is, he's going to answer some questions that can be answered. So we're going to be going over this. This lawsuit was filed on the state of Tennessee by Seth Rogers, Sebastian Rogers' father. Seth Rogers, and as we know, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is still missing. And I've kind of been breaking it down in my own little way, even though we're reading the facts from the lawsuit. And I've had my own opinions and my thoughts, and I'm entitled to my opinions and my thoughts. But some of us have had, a lot of us have had our thoughts and opinions, and that's okay. So we're going to break it down, real talk here. And again, although I do read the facts from the lawsuit, it's okay for everybody to have their thoughts and opinions, whether you agree or you don't agree, right? So come on in, come on in. And if anybody sees Dawn Emery today, tell Dawn happy birthday. It is Dawn's birthday today. Happy birthday, Dawn. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I hope you have a fantabulous birthday. So, just like this lawsuit, my hope is to bring more awareness to Sebastian, and I hope that change comes because there definitely needs to be change and there definitely needs to be more awareness, right? So, that's one of the things, no matter if you agree or disagree. No matter. In my opinion, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is the only victim here. He is a victim and he was a victim, right? He is a victim and he was a victim. He's disabled. Hey, H. Davis, how are you doing? Good afternoon, good afternoon. Sebastian is disabled. He's vulnerable. At the time, he was very high risk. They knew this. He was in a high-risk environment. This was all documented. Hey, James. Thank you. You sent a star. Whoop, whoop. Thank you, James. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Everyone knew it, especially law enforcement, the Department of Children and Family Services, along with other agencies, and his own mother and stepfather knew it, which is where he resided. Right? Everybody knew it except his father, Seth Rogers. But everybody knew who Seth Rogers was. And Sebastian told them. He told them who Seth Rogers was by name and where he lived at. I'm sure they verified that also with Katie and Chris, but nobody bothered, including Katie and Chris. Isn't that odd? Isn't that odd? Katie knew if she said, oh my God, like any other normal person would, whether they were together or not, and say, oh my God. You know, I was just saying, if it was me, even if it was with my grandkids or something, and that happened, and me and my husband wasn't together, I would call my husband and go, oh my God, you're not going to believe this. What the fork, you know? These people come out and Jesus now, whatever, however you say it, but because that's a big deal, right? That's a big deal. But see, Katie didn't do that because, in my opinion, she was either scared Seth would go try to take Sebastian or get her for, and take her to court for money or child support and take Sebastian. Think about that. You can't make this shit up. You just can't. You just can't. Sebastian was vulnerable. He was a vulnerable child. He was very high risk. Everyone knew it except his father. Law enforcement knew it. Department of Children and Family Services knew it. The DA, everybody. Sorry, I got a phone call. It knocked me off. It knocked me offline. I hope y'all can still hear me. These idiots. They always want to call and bother me when I'm doing something. Can y'all hear me? Oh, Lord, honey. Yeah, they have enough for child abuse charges. Yeah, they do. They do. And what's up with the grand jury anyway? Who knows? Who knows? I hope this gets people moving. I hope people's frightened, but, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when these lawsuits dropped. But, hey, what do I know? But after I started reading them, I was like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. I mean, this would unnerve anybody, right? But, hey, it is what it is. But nobody took accountability. Nobody stepped up. Nobody. Nobody whatsoever. Everybody failed him. In my opinion, they left him in this shark tank to fend for himself, to just out in this, he might as well have been put in this big ocean with no life jackets, no nothing, no food, no nothing. and just anybody praying that he made it out alive, and nobody ever found out. Well, at least not his dad found out. It's like a dream, like a movie. Like on the days his dad would come get him, he would swim out of that shark-infested place and go get in the car and be met halfway or whatever and dropped off with his dad, or be picked up like you're in La La Land somewhere, Twilight Zone, and everybody's blinded by the damn light. I mean, what? They just let them sharks multiply into this, maybe they didn't think it was really sharks. Maybe they just thought, maybe the CPS or DCF or whoever went out there thought it was just these little pretty kitty cats. Oh, these little kittens. Maybe they're just great manipulators. I mean, you know. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers had expressed on multiple occasions that he was more comfortable with his father, Seth Rogers, than with Chris Proudfoot. He told them that. To me, that even meant he was willing to be with his father, Seth Rogers, and leave his mother, Katie Proudfoot, if he had to. If he had to make that choice, because he did not feel safe around Chris Proudfoot, and he was afraid of Chris Proudfoot, his stepfather. He told them that. He told them he feels safe with his father, whose name is Seth Rogers, and who lives in Clarksville, Tennessee. So go figure that out, people. That was a red flag. That was noted. It was noted on more than one occasion. That is in the DCS files. And that was red flags. You bet it was. And again, the September 29th, 2022 case, that included a non-custodial placement need, including Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers might need to be placed outside the home. That he met criteria. He was found to be in serious imminent risk of removal from their home. That's what the paperwork DCS made in their findings about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Yeah, I'm glad that they were fired too. But that is not going to make them immune from this lawsuit. It sure won't. Sure won't. Not in any other job that they got or in their personal lives. It sure won't. If this lawsuit goes through, it sure won't. Katie bar the doors. No pun intended. Y'all ever heard that one? Katie bar the doors. I bet Katie wished she could have barred the doors when all this was going down. Yikes. But that's what's in this paperwork. DCS made that in their own findings on Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. But then they turned around and they left him in that very home, that very magazine-like home, which they determined that picture-perfect home on the outside, that he was at risk, serious risk for being removed from, because he was in very serious risk and very much so in danger. Wild, isn't it? Then the combination of essay, the history of documents, the history of physical abuse that Chris admitted to. Now, Chris admitted that out of his own mouth. He admitted that out of his own mouth to DCS, the state of Tennessee, and frankly, he admitted it out of his mouth here on YouTube to the public, whether it went over everybody's head or not, whether it went in one ear and out the other, whether you listened or you didn't listen, whether you heard the same thing some people heard and some people didn't. Well, the state of Tennessee, DCS, and the Sumner County Sheriff's Office all has that documented in records. And it is out here in these streets from his own mouth, like it was no big deal, from his mouth, his self, his own words. There's documents, there's words from Sebastian, documented from Sebastian's own words, the victim himself. So see, you cannot, you might, see what happens, think about this. Some people try to shut the victim up. You know, whether it be a drug case or a M case or a whatever. Some people try to shut their victims, the victims up. That's what they do. That's what these criminals do. You may not be a known criminal. You either got to start somewhere or you're one that's just never got caught yet. But when the heat starts coming on for whatever reason, what do? And I'm not saying in this case that's what happened, but it is a point that I would like to make. You know, somebody starts talking, somebody starts going about what's happening in your picture perfect life. You know, somebody on the streets talk about snitching, and what's the difference? You know, now you're at the point where people's coming to your homes. It's interfering with your lives. It might be interfering with your child, your other cousin, this, that, the other. What do you do? I'm just trying to make a point. Maybe it's motive. Maybe it's not. Well, you get rid of the problem, don't you? You get rid of the problem. What's the problem? What's the problem in this situation? Seems to me Sebastian was the problem. I mean, yeah, sure, at the time, there was talk between all three of them that allegedly Chris talked Katie into trying to give Seth. Maybe she didn't want to give Sebastian to Seth because she was afraid he would try to get child support. Or maybe there was I don't know, don't care. Maybe at the time it wasn't feasible Seth could take Sebastian. Maybe he wanted to wait a little bit. So what? What it boils down to, that time wasn't right for Chris. It wasn't fast enough. Things wasn't happening, in my opinion, fast enough, right? Now, these are my thoughts and my opinions. These are nobody else's. And this didn't come out of nobody else's mouth but mine. It's coming out of mine right now. We've all heard there was ultimatums given, right? True, not. Let's just say we don't know. Allegedly. Things wasn't happening fast enough. Things were closing in. Pressures was getting tighter. All the way around for some. You know, somebody had to go, Joe. Enough is enough is enough. You know, I done left my damn home. I done hit the road, Jack. Tired of this shit. Just saying. You either gonna have to hit the road, make a decision. Scooby-Doo ready, come home. In my house. Mine. So what really happened? Hypothetically, what really happened? Yep. Then that part. That part. Mohawk's mom. Then you got the neighbors. I mean, everybody, I guess, lies. Everybody lies. Then you got the neighbors reporting that they heard Chris Proudfoot say he hated the child Sebastian, and he wanted him to die. I hate you, I want you to die. You don't feed me, you don't pay my bills, and you don't fuck me. I hate you. You made my life miserable. I wish he was dead. I can't even get mad. I mean, I can't even fathom. I can't even do it. I can't understand how nobody could do it. I just can't. And then they want to perceive that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, let's see. Was he a burden? Well, did I hit him with the belt? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. The neighbors reported name calling. The grandmother reported name calling and degrading by Chris Proudfoot. See, I had many people come to me and it's like, why didn't the grandmother said she didn't, you know. See, I had some closest to me say they didn't believe the grandmother called CPS. Well, the grandmother did call CPS. Yes, she did. She didn't keep those secrets. I haven't. Oh, shit. Sorry, I held the button too long. Can you hear me now, James? I don't know. I hadn't specifically asked him that. Maybe that should be one of... Oh, shit. Sorry. I keep holding my phone down. I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Just put a 1 in here, somebody, if you can hear me. Let's see. He told Seth, you got to take Sebastian. Well, I don't know if it was exactly like that, James. Seth is going to have a question and answer tonight. Let me, I don't know if it was exactly that, but maybe you could go over and ask that question specifically tonight. I'll try. Let me get a screenshot of that. Hold on. Hold on a minute. I'm going to screenshot that. I'm going to try to get that asked. Because I don't know if it was exactly like that or not. But I did hear something to that effect. But I don't know if it was if he told Seth that or not, to be honest. But I know that allegedly he gave Katie an ultimatum, and it was either him or Sebastian. And I've always said, in my opinion, he did not realize that. I don't think he realized that Katie would even choose him, to be honest. And I like to always say, I don't think Katie, and this is just my opinion, and don't make it fact, but I like to always say, I don't think Katie wanted to go back to rags from riches. But I believe that. I believe that with my heart. But no, I think the truth is, James, excuse me, I think the truth is, I don't think it was more about their marriage. I think it was more about maybe Sebastian was acting up or something, and or more about the schooling. And again, I could be wrong on that, but or it could have been a little bit of both, and they were just going to have him go live with Seth, and Seth agreed, but maybe it just wasn't the right time, or he needed to get everything in order for his schooling. Hey, Jen, maybe Jen could answer that a little bit better. Jen, could you answer James's question a little bit better? Because I don't think I'm probably saying it proper, and I want to be correct about it. Or he could ask Seth tonight, but she gave up her career in the Navy for him. Yes, she did. Yes, and I'm going to get to something on that in just a minute because, yeah, and yeah, let me just get to that when I get to it because I got some thoughts on that, and I got to do this in my way because, yeah, Mohawk, I am with you, honey. I am with you. She would do anything. Why would you give up a great career for Chris like that? I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, James, maybe she can stroll up, and I think she can answer that a little bit better than I can. Hold on a minute. Why is my dog barking like that? Not mine. My son's dog is barking like crazy. What in the hell? Oh, I got it. Okay. There you go. Anyway, okay. I'll be acting crazy today. Lord have mercy. Oh, it's you. What? Stop. Stop. I was like, what in the world? My gosh. Anyway. So, yeah, all that name calling and everything that was done, I just don't think everybody could be wrong, right? I just don't think everybody could be wrong either. And those reports that law enforcement had, and those homicidal thoughts from California and all of that stuff, let's be clear. Let's be clear about that. Something should have been done. They had all the essay and aggressive behavior. And DCS, they did their own formal determination that Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was put in imminent risk from the Proudfoot home. That constituted an overwhelming abundance of evidence. And they did nothing. Imagine if that was your child or somebody that you loved. Sebastian was 100%, in my opinion, not safe. Yet DCS ignored everything, their own words, their own findings, and their own facts, and their own documentation. All of it, their own. The 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution provides, and it says in these records, provides that no state shall deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without the due process of law. In child welfare cases, the applicable standard of due process, Kinder liability 42 USC 193 is deliberate indifference, and that is whether the state knew and disregarded substantial risk of serious harm to the plaintiff, and it did. Then it goes back to Patel versus Kent. Y'all can go back and read all that. Then under the state, it created a dangerous doctrine as a state actor may be held to an individual citing the Stanley versus Winnebago County of Social Services 1989. So, it's got all that documented. Hey, Janice. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, as a missing child with documented disabilities and known history of abuse, had a liberty and interest in his personal security and protected, by all that with his father. Seth had every right to care for his son. He had every right to have companionship and custody. All of that in this lawsuit. And this claim was brought on behalf of his son, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, through his father. He was his next friend, it states. It says the state created danger, and it requires that the state's own conduct created or increased the plaintiff's exposure to danger. And then it goes on to state other cases and stuff. This is crazy. This is crazy. How, to me, and this is just me in my opinion, we don't know what's going to happen. But Seth had every right to file this. I don't care what nobody says. Win, lose, or draw. I hope it goes through. But to me, I don't know why he don't have them dead to right. I just don't know. This is crazy. It's their own words, their own documentation. Hey, Bama Cat. Good to see you. Good to see you. Lord, I stepped outside. It looks like it is fixing to bottom out again. Jesus, it has rained every day. Every day. But they created an increased danger, and Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case, and it included knowing Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers' history of SA, and that it had been reported. Investigators knew this, and knowing that, he was in a home. He was in a home life that DCS's own records investigated. They documented, and it was marked by physical abuse, emotional abuse. The neighbors had seen everything the neighbors had seen and reported. The family, meaning his grandmother, and they did not take any action. I got to say this, Smiley. If Katie thinks we believe she was showing Chris that Sebastian ate all of his food. Exactly. I don't believe that for one freaking minute. I don't believe it. I don't know, but the police should have that. But if they didn't do any, if they got all this stuff documented and they didn't do nothing about it or with it, what did they do with all the stuff that allegedly they collected after the fact? That's what I want to know. And that's the only thing I'm worried about. How much are they going to try to shut down to keep from going through or people from finding out, But, in my opinion, I believe with all of my heart the attorney Seth Scott, and Seth, I know, is going to fight with everything he has. So, this fight is not going to be over. So, regardless, I think Seth has showed that, period. This is going to go as far as it can go. And again, everybody's missing the point. It's not about the money. People can say what they will. That's not what it's about. Oh, it's going to be great. It'll help and it'll be great. But everybody's missing the whole point. That's not what it's about. Where is Sebastian? That's what Seth wants to know. Where's Sebastian? Where's his son? Katie holds the key. Katie holds the key, in my opinion. I wasn't the only one either that thinks that. And I'm still not. There's many people out there that think so. So say what you will. Physical abuse has been noted by them that Chris has done. Again, intimate danger was led to. It prevented other services from taking place, from other individuals helping. They closed the case. They closed the investigation, preventing any potential investigation or help by anybody else, no matter if it was agents or individuals. It didn't matter. Yeah. What evidence was destroyed? See, that's the problem. That's the problem. We may never know. People can say what they will, but we may never know. We may never know. Other individuals could have took protective action. His dad could have took protective action had he have known. But by closing this case, ignoring Sebastian, ignoring his own cry for help, words he told them, and they heard him. They put that pen to the paper, and they ignored him. They did not care. They did not listen. And neither did his own frackin' mother. Because they went in person and they told his mother. They told his mother everything, and they asked his mother everything. And you know what? She was pissed off. I don't know why y'all keep coming out here. I don't know why y'all keep bothering. I don't know what accent she used that day. Well, Katie, you don't have to worry about that anymore. And now I'm speaking directly to you again. I find myself speaking to you a lot, ma'am. You don't have to worry about that anymore, do you, Katie? I ask you, and I ask Chris, when I was summoned back over to my channel off of Justin, when I was up there with Trevor Lee, Justin, and Josh, to come over here and fire up live to oblige y'all in the blind. Y'all thought I was going to fold, didn't you? Because I was a little bit nervous. I even invited you on Justin's panel. Wow. Woo-wee, some don't know that. How rude of me. Woo. But I come over here and obliged you in the dark. I think I did a damn good job. Oh, and by the way, people that don't know, I didn't even know until recently. Chris was looking at me even before he was looking at Duchess. He wanted to talk to me. Isn't that funny? Chris, I bet you didn't know that bitch was recording you, did you? Y'all all know it now. Wow. Anyway, Katie, I'm speaking to you now. I'm speaking to you now. You don't have to worry about that anymore, do you? You don't have to worry about your son. You don't have to worry about who you gave birth to. You don't have to worry about him being a burden to you and to your life. By the way, somebody clip, right? Hold on. Somebody clip that. Clip that for me. Somebody clip that for me. The one that says, when I asked them about, is Sebastian a burden? Because I want to play that over and over and over again. Because I don't think y'all remember how they answered that. Clip that and send it to me. I'm going to play it over and over and over again. Their response. All I can say now is, well, he's definitely not a burden. Now, is he, Katie? I don't know why God put those words in my mouth, that question to ask you, but it just fell out of my mouth that night. I had no questions to ask you. Everything I asked just come off the top of my head. It just spilled out so easily. Was your son a burden? All I see now is Sebastian was never nothing to you, Katie, but a burden. In my opinion, unfortunately. I think that's why you ran off to the military in the first place. Not to better yourself, not for your country, but to unburden yourself from your son that you left with his father, Seth Rogers, where you knew he was safe. Now you're making that man suffer like hell. Well, I hope in the end of this life or beyond or in this life, that it's all been worth it. Sometimes we need to carry our burdens. We need to carry our burdens with strength, with grace, with a smile. But you know what, Katie Lynn Proudfoot? You have no strength. You have no smile. You are weak. You are a weak, rotten disgrace, in my opinion. You never deserved Sebastian. You don't deserve Sebastian. You are weak, Katie Lynn Proudfoot. You know what happened to Sebastian, in my opinion. You know where Sebastian is, and you need to start speaking up, in my opinion. You are weak. Everybody, if you know anything, say something. Thank you for being here. Everybody go and see Seth Rogers' live tonight. Don't let anything or anybody ever burden you to any points like this. A child is a gift from God, and so many people want children. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers deserves better than this, and he deserves to be found, and his father deserves to know where he's at and what happened to him. Katie, you're weak.